no secret. It's plain to see. And I love you.
Hi, my name is Lady BJ, and welcome to Facing the Truth. We're so glad to be with you guys again today. I feel like I've missed you and haven't seen you in a while. Hopefully you've been anticipating and waiting for this opportunity for us to interact with each other again and spend some time. I'm going to allow Mr. Jackson.
Hello everybody, I'm Mr. Jackson and we are excited to have another show with you on today. We just want to thank you for following us and for supporting us. We thank you for visiting our Facebook page. If you haven't, please do so. Go to Facebook, Facing the Truth-Chosen One. Like the Facebook page, post your comments. You can also post your questions on there and we can respond and answer, have some dialogue on Facebook as well. It's an open forum, open discussion. We'd love to have more interaction with you guys, so please feel free to go to our Facebook page and interact with us there. Also, for today, we have a very exciting show for you. We're very happy to have this incredible person with us here today. She is a world champion, like a world champion.
Yeah, she is.
She is an amazing athlete. And we're just like super excited to have her here today. Yeah. She's won medals in all kinds of different countries across the world. She's won gold medals in the World Games. Yeah. And she is like Olympic status athlete. Like,
yeah,
she's
yeah,
amazing.
yeah, she there, y'all.
She's amazing. So we are excited to have Mrs.
Yes.
Yolanda Yo-Yo Monroe with us today.
Well,
BJ, tell us a little bit how you met her.
Well, I am so excited about Yo-Yo being here today. We actually met back, I believe it was back in April, and I was at a function where we were being honored and appreciated for some of the things that we've done throughout Long Island and in the community. And some of you guys may be familiar with the NAACP. And we were at this function, and we were both being honored and recognized for the things that we do. And, you know, I was really kind of taken because she came and she was like, oh my goodness, she said, I really enjoyed you after I did my speech. And she was like, can I have a picture with you? And I'm looking at this one with this huge gold medal on her chest, asking me to take a picture with her. Picture that. Cool beans. But that just lets you know that no matter how great you are, it's always appreciated when you can still be reachable and you can still show the human side. Yeah. And you know your accomplishment don't overwhelm your head to the point that you're not communicative or you're not able to respect and appreciate those that may not be in your field but still is a sister or brother in life. Right. And that's how she made me feel, and I was so honored and appreciative to her for just having that laid back, down to earth personality. And we laughed and we talked, and the next thing you know, my brain started churning and I started seeing us doing things together that would be able to be a blessing in her life as well as my life. Because truly when you meet good people, whether you recognize it or realize it or not, it is a blessing.
Absolutely.
So it is my honor and my privilege to share time and space and energy in this part of my life with this young lady, because she is truly a great achiever, and it is an honor. Ladies and gentlemen, I would love nothing more than at this moment to please have you all just give a warm, beautiful welcome for Mrs. Yolanda Yo-Yo Monroe.
Yo-Yo.
Yo-Yo. Okay.
Thank you.
Yo-Yo! Welcome, my love.
Thank you, guys.
Oh my goodness, we're so excited about having you here.
Thank you for being
Oh
here.
my goodness. It is such a beautiful experience to be sitting here with you, to share this time and this opportunity with you, to find out your story. You know, we say a lot of times history, but this is her story. Her story. So we're going to give this portion, we're going to ask you a few questions, but before we ask you questions, because I'm really excited, I know Mr. Jackson has some questions, I have some questions, and we're going to try to ask her some questions that you guys might want to know, ask her about. So we're going to take this at the beginning. You know, we know you're a married woman, but we want to take you back. Way yeah, we're gonna go way back to when you was maybe a little bit closer than cradle age, but when you was like, you know, I don't know if you was hitting the ball as a toddler or if you was an adolescent, but we want to like take you back to that place where your hand, the ball, and the wall became friends and acquainted with each other.
Okay, so I actually started playing handball when I was about 9. I would go outside every morning and hit up against. I would go outside every morning and hit up against the factory that was on the side of the wall where we lived at. And I happened to see them playing it in the park one day because my sister used to play it. So every morning I would get up early in the morning, go hit the ball, come back home, go hit the ball again in the afternoon, come back home, hit until dawn, and then come back home. So I found delight in the sport. I actually liked it. And the eye-hand coordination was there. So I said, oh, let me work a little bit more every day, work a little bit more, work a little bit more. So when I was when I was about 13, I remember them having a tournament. And I wanted to play in this tournament so bad. But I was just so tiny and so young, and they would not let me play. And my sister turned to me, and I remember her saying, well, you're too young to play in this tournament. This is my crowd. And I was like, okay. But one day I'm going to be at that age where I can play. So about when I was about age 16, they had a tournament, and I remember this was about a park around maybe 3 blocks away from us. And my sister was in the tournament, and they must have had about maybe, I would say, a good crowd of people out there. And my mom decided she was going to go to this tournament. So we went to the tournament, and I was able to join the tournament. So I said, oh, okay, I'll join, you know, see where the talent takes me. So I got into the tournament, and it came down to the last 2 females in the singles, and it was my sister and I.
Now, let me just pause you there for a minute, Yo-Yo. She prefers to be called Yo-Yo. To y'all that don't know, Yolanda likes to be called Yo-Yo. So you'll hear us referring to her as Yo-Yo as we continue this interview. Now, you're talking about handball, and you kind of skipped ahead to where you was 9 when you started, and you know by 12 you wanted to come in this tournament. But I don't want to skip ahead too quick, too fast, because I remember as a young girl, I also played handball. We would go to church, and we would be outside church on the side of the building, and we would be slamming that ball against the wall, and it would be, we would have teams, we would, you know, sometime when wasn't nobody out there to play with the teams, you'd be out there playing by yourself. But I did not embrace a passion of wanting to take it to a tournament level, or even knew that a tournament even existed for handball. You know, the people in the neighborhood never talked about tournaments, you know, let alone knowing that this was something that would go around the world, that you would have such opportunities to, you know, be involved in. So as your journey began, you started talking about how your journey began in the sense that you were playing ball, you saw your sister play ball, and that was, you know, where you progressed to. But the first time that you realized that there was something there beyond just the neighborhood girl being in the neighborhood, playing with her sister or her friends. I mean, because you talked about getting up and playing, going back in the house, coming back, playing, going to bed. This became a routine. It became, so where and how did you come to a place, because we have some young people out there, or even maybe some teens, how did you know that there was a desire, a hunger, a passion, or a call to you in this ball?
Okay, so like you said, back then when we were younger, we used to go to church. So we used to come out of church, and I wasn't the type of person, I was always into sports, I was always into sports.
Such-
but
such-
I ran track, I played softball, I played volleyball, I played everything that you can imagine under the sun. But this handball was the one that the passion stuck out the most.
That's what I'm trying to get to.
And when I came home from church, the first thing I would do, and I remember, was take off those church clothes, put on some pants or shorts or skirt, and just go out and hit the ball. It was something about that little blue ball. Back then it was a Spalding ball. It was a pink ball that I grew
Yes,
up
that's
on.
what we played with. Yeah.
And I would take that ball, and my mama would say, "Well, where you going?" And I'd be like, "Right down the street, Mama, right here, a few houses down. We had a factory wall." And I remember taking that ball and hitting it up on the factory wall, and I would do hand hit, and I said, "Ooh," I said, "the coordination is there." And it was just something about the feel of this sport. And I mean, I could run track all day. I was in school. I was all around athlete. I could run track. I could play volleyball. But this handball, it was something about the passion of hitting that ball with your hand.
That's what
Maybe I had
yeah.
the brothers and sisters, and it was just something about hitting that ball.
It was calling you.
Yeah.
If I can't hit them, I can
I
hit
could
the
hit
ball.
the ball. It was that ball. It was always that ball.
Okay. See, now that's giving me more of a feel of what was germinating or what was unfolding or developing in your belly in regards of that specific sport.
Right.
Because like you say, you ran track, you played volleyball. So there was a series of sports that you played in addition to, but nothing replaced or had that passion like handball.
No, nothing
so
replaced it.
that's when you knew that it was something unique, something different that just was a part of your DNA to play handball. See, when it's in your DNA, you can try to get away from it, but it keeps pulling you back. It keeps drawing you back. So then after you realized that handball was in your DNA, that your journey began.
My journey began.
And okay, so that's when you realized that it was a strong part of your life.
It was a strong part of my life because any other time, I mean, I could go roller skating, but if you really got bored and nobody else was around, you take that ball, and that ball became you and somebody else.
Mm-hmm.
So you didn't need anybody else to play that game. All you needed was a handball, your eyes and hands on the court, and your sneakers, and you're right there. You're right there. It didn't cost you anything. Every wall was a wall that I can hit on.
Yeah, that's real right there, y'all.
Right.
She was beginning to face her truth. Her reality was her and that ball.
I mean, because I played tennis, but tennis was such an expensive sport. And when you got brothers and sisters, and so many brothers and sisters, it's an expensive sport. So, the money became an issue.
And it wasn't in the neighborhood.
And it wasn't in the neighborhood,
You had
because
to
I grew
go
up
to
in
it.
Brooklyn. Right. I basically grew up in Brooklyn.
See, let's get back to the
right.
bio now. Yeah, talk
So
about.
I grew up in Brooklyn. So in Brooklyn, I mean, the tennis wasn't there like it is now. But handball, I can stop on anybody's wall. If you had a wall that looked like a door, and it was plain, and it was able to get that ball off that wall.
No cracks, no dents.
cracks, nothing. And they used to have cracks in the ground, so you had to maneuver the ball around the cracks. It's called Hindu.
Mm-hmm.
So it was just a beautiful thing. I just developed it, and I was like, wow, I can really play this.
Excellent.
So, question: you talk about how it was such a passion for you at a young age, and how you had brothers and sisters still at the same time. So did you have the support of your parents when it came to handball?
Absolutely not.
Nah.
They didn't understand what I was playing, because my mother used to say to me every morning, "Where's this child going?" And I used to be, "Ma, just on the wall right there." But she would see me hitting on the wall. She would see me hitting on the wall. But she said, where is she going? I mean, I would come home from school, do my homework, clean up the house, and if it was an hour left of daylight, I was hitting on the wall. So, but did they understand what I was getting to yet? Not at this point.
How many siblings did you have?
9.
Okay, so out of including yourself?
Yes.
Okay, so out of the 9 children, and growing up in that time, in that era, a mother seeing or a parent seeing their child hitting the ball on the wall, they did not see a future or a career, or the fact that this is a way that my child could make a living or make an income. So that gave to some concern.
Yeah. But no, you know what? They always knew I was the athlete of the family. I was the athlete of the family, so to speak. There was no other common ground for me but sports. So my mom always knew that I was the athlete, I was the dancer, whatever it was that took me to anywhere that I could do something moving or something with my hand or eye-hand coordination or something I can develop. Once I got to it, I would stay with it. But I was the athlete of the family, so she knew. It wasn't just like my sister, she hit, but I played.
Okay. Now, what's the difference between playing and hitting?
Well, anybody can basically learn how to hit a ball.
Like me.
I can teach anybody how to hit a ball.
Because I hit the ball.
But you can hit the ball, but if you got a passion for it, you're going to develop it further than just a hit. It now becomes skills are involved, playing, and you're really going to play. Like, I meet people on a daily basis, maybe every now and then, even in my travels. I'll tell people, like, they say, oh, yeah, I heard of handball. I used to play handball. I said, but did you play or do you play? See, you can play. I play. I play the game. I know the game. I play the game. I've mastered the game.
Exactly. Big difference.
Big difference.
Big difference. Okay, so here we go. Were there any challenges in your youth while you were trying to break into handball in your youth? I know there's challenges after you reach to certain levels and heights, but in your youth, what was the challenges or what was the hardship that might have, if you weren't determined, caused you to like relinquish, give up, or, you know, I know it's probably you got 1,000,001 things, but as a young person, in order to continue into something that wasn't so popular, well known in that field of competition, what was the things that you faced and what gave you the enthusiasm or the determination to persevere?
Well, there wasn't much around, so you had to, I mean, I played like Skelly, Double Dutch, the hopscotch, all the basic games that we grew up playing.
Children games.
Right. But the handball was something like I would see people hitting it against the wall, and I say, well, you know what? This needs to go somewhere. I know I can do better in this sport. I know I can. I can do better than this. I can get my challenge up to where I had to get to the point where I wanted to challenge the guys. So that was my thrive.
When you say guys, you mean men?
Men, the guys
the
back
boys?
then, the boys back then,
Okay,
yeah. I was the perfect tomboy, so it was like, listen, they're not going to beat me. Just because you're a guy doesn't mean you have more talent than I have.
Gotcha.
So that was my basic challenge right there. You know, like the girls, I could go through them like water, but the guys was who used to taunt me. They taunt me.
So that was your
court.
challenge.
And they was like, you're not ready to hang out with us. You're not ready to play with us. And I'd be like, wait a minute, you know what? I got a lot of strength for a girl. And I know how to make my skills work for me. One day I'm going to develop them, and I'm going to come back and show you I can make it work. And that's what I do.
Put them on the run.
Put them on the run.
Yo, put them on the run, y'all. She put them on the run. Mrs. Jackson.
So, do you think that your gender was a hindrance, or was it a strength for you?
For me, it was a hindrance, but I turned it into a strength.
A secret weapon.
And the reason why I say that is because normally women in sports, or girls back then, are always given less attributes, is that a correct word to use, than the guy athletes. So it's like, okay, you're a girl, that's all you hear, you're a girl, you can't keep up with us. But for me, I had my brothers, so I could do just as good as the guys can do in sports. So I was like, you know what, that's not going to be a hindrance for me. I'm going to show you I am going to be this person in this sport that's going to take this to another level. So yes, no, it wasn't a hindrance. I turned it into a,
She became a secret weapon, in other words.
Yeah.
Because they didn't expect her. That's what I'm saying. They didn't expect you to come out there and hit it like you did.
Absolutely not. And I have natural strength, and I open hand hit the ball really, really hard. So for them, it was like if I hit a ball, it was like, wow, where'd that come from?
Yeah.
You know, they expect this girl to come outside and hit the ball, and it's like, oh, she girly. Doesn't work like that. Not at all.
Now, see, you're saying that. What was your strongest technique as a youth that may be different now as an adult? So I know you have your techniques and your skills as an adult, but what did you become known for when you were coming up as a youth as your strongest technique?
In handball?
In handball.
Okay, I was known for my backhand used to be really, really, really powerful, and I could hit a backhand flat shot. And even now, I have an overshot that just lays flat. And they just see when I cock my arm back, I already know I can't get to it. So it's like, give it up.
So when you said backhand,
It's a backhand.
so
that I
you
hit.
hitting it
Yes.
now? Would you be hitting it
No.
with this?
Most
Okay,
people
so-
do like this. I do like this.
Gotcha.
And it's just a flat line rollout shot.
Okay,
So,
so
that
they call
became
that a backhand.
A backhand, yes. Because some people hit it like that, but I hit it like that.
And then
That-
they know they're in trouble.
They done. They were done on the backhand.
So now we're going to get into your positions and the names of different hits and moves and what in the game or whatever. But what is your technique now as an adult? Your strength, your strong technique.
Ooh, that's a lot. I'm just strong.
All around.
All around. I'm just a strong, aggressive player. Yeah, and I have a flat line shot. They actually patented after me and called it the yo-yo flat line.
Wow.
Because it's actually patented after me through the handball community that they know. There she goes. That's all they say. There she goes. There goes that shot.
Now, when you say that all around, just strong player, now you're saying from the beginning of the game to the end of the game, you just come to kill.
I'm just going in for it.
You just take
I'm
it
just
down.
going in out. I'm focusing. All I know is it's me and that ball is on the court. That's all I'm focusing on.
What age did you realize that you was going to be a true champion before the world?
When I turned 16, I knew I was going to be a
Okay.
true champion at 16. Yeah. I just, the sport, I wished it would have surfaced a lot further as I was growing up, as of now. Like I felt like it was going to go further when I was younger to get further out into the world of sports than it is now. So, but for me, I knew at 16 when I played that tournament when I was 16, I believe it was 16 and then maybe again 17. It could have been in between that time, transitioning. But when I played that tournament, there was a guy that was standing on the side and he watched me play that tournament. And when I got finished playing that tournament, I was standing with my mom. And he came up to my mom and he said, she's a great athlete. He goes, I really would like to sponsor her. And my mom was like, sponsor? We were like, sponsor? What sponsor? Back then. So, and when he said that, he was like, well, she plays. I like to see her go further into sport. So that kind of opened doors right then and there.
Excellent.
Yeah.
So you talked about how the sport wasn't as advanced as it is, even nowadays. So was there ever a time, and you talked about how, like at 16, you knew you were going to be a champion. Was there ever a time between the time you were 16 and, let's say, your first gold medal that you felt like maybe your time had passed when it came to handball?
You know what? I won a lot of medals. I won a lot of trophies when I was younger. State to state or the city trophies that were where I was playing at in New York. I won a lot of trophies, a lot of medals, but the gold medals came when I started traveling the world. So in between that time, you were asking if I felt like there was...
Was there ever a time you felt like...
I would never be at this point where I'm at now, or that I feel like it's too late for me now.
Did you ever feel like it was too late?
You know what? To answer that question, I did. At one point, I did feel like it was too late until I went to the first World Game that I went to. And when I went to the World Games, I said, you know what? My game was still up to par, so to speak. Like a lot of women and a lot of people that come up in sports, their game tends to fall off as they get older. I got better.
Okay.
I got better. So youth kind of follows me. So in this day and age, I still play on such a high level that I thought that I was gonna. Actually, I wasn't even really going to go. It was my husband that pressured me and said to me, "You're such a great athlete. Why would you stop playing the sport? Get back into it and go." And so he actually motivated
you.
me to continue the sport, to come back in and to go.
Yeah,
and I'm
he
glad
can,
he
yeah,
did,
he can.
because when he did that, I was practicing. I went back into the park. I had taken maybe a hiatus of maybe 16, 17, 18 years from competing now. I've never stopped playing, but competing wise.
Yes.
There was so much going on, and I stopped competing, but when I came back in, and I'm going to tell you how you know when people truly respect you in a sport that you play for, because even though I was gone, my name was still a household name. You could say yo-yo, and they'll say handball. You could say yo-yo, and they'll say, where is she? So when I walked into the park one day, there were people that was in the park, and they was like, oh, my God, yo-yo. And so it was never like it just stopped. It was just I was missed.
That's
so
awesome.
Did I ever think that there was a time when it was too late? Yeah, I could honestly say yes. But do I know now that there's a time when it's too late? No.
All right. I like that. You know, we're going to segue right from where you just left that with it not being too late and you coming to church. You have some medals spread it out here.
All this bling bling.
And yeah, she got some really major stuff laying here. And I want you to just, if you will, because we want to talk about, you know, how you came about winning the top medal that you have. But I want you to hold up these medals so that our audience can look at it and tell what country it's from and go down the line. And then when you get here, you're going to stop. And then we're going to go there. But I want you to start here first, and then you go there last.
This one comes first before those. So do you want me to go those and come back?
You in charge.
Okay. So, well, this one right here is the coming back of a year after such a long, long time. So this is the gold medal from Ireland that I played in Ireland. And I was actually asked to go to Ireland when I played this, when I got this medal. And when I got this medal, it was such an accomplishment.
Why? Oh, that's awesome.
Wait.
That's awesome. She's going to make us cry.
Wait. Because for taking off, but my husband actually told me, go, show your talent, and go. So when I went and I won this gold medal there.
Real gold,
yes.
y'all. Real gold.
Well, you know, it's gold overlay, they say, but
it's
anyway,
gold,
it's
baby.
gold. It's
You
a gold
won that,
medal from the
baby.
world. So
don't small
excuse me,
change
right.
it.
So when I went and then I got it, they actually let Kevin medal me in Ireland.
Wow.
They let him medal me in Ireland. And if you look at this picture right here.
Let me help you.
Let me see.
We're going to put the truth box to work, y'all.
Okay. So if you look at this picture right here, that's actually Kevin coming up to medal me.
Okay.
From the world medal. So it's
now,
actually
who's Kevin? Tell them who
Kevin is my husband.
The love of her life.
Biggest fan.
Clearly.
Love of my life. Biggest
y'all gonna
fan.
meet him. Don't worry. Y'all gonna meet him.
So, and he encouraged me. And when I won that, it was just such an accomplishment. He was just so proud. And then we called our son back home, and he was like, Mom, you did it. You did it. So that was my icebreaker right there.
That's awesome. That's that going. Look, I'm touching it, y'all. I'm touching it. Put your hand on
that's
it.
The gold medal. So that was the gold medal.
This is the world handball champion right here.
Right.
We're proud of you, honey.
So,
we're so glad you're USA.
Yes, USA, baby.
USA.
That's right. Bring it home. Okay.
Okay.
So, excuse me.
I'm sorry, but
that was
proud
the story
moment.
for him.
Proud moment.
So now with that, it started a journey of things after that. So I got actually invited to go to play on a world tour about a year after this medal was won. And then I actually gotten called to go to Canada. Somebody had invited me to Canada, and they was asking me if I would come down. So when I got down there, they did a story on me in Canada. It was called the Honey Martin tournament. And they actually did a story on me. And when I got down there, I was able to meet a whole lot of people down there. And I felt like, I was a guest in their house. So I wanted to make sure that I performed well for them.
Yes.
So when I went down and we were practicing that night, I didn't show them everything that I could bring to the table when I was practicing. You don't never show them everything at the practice.
Secret weapon.
Yes. So when I went to Canada, the Honey Martin tournament, I actually won this tournament 3 years in a row. The women's singles, women's doubles. And I actually took the men's 50 and over tournament at that tournament. So
now let me ask you a question. Now, what is the difference between, because everybody might not know all the terminology for handball. So when you say singles and doubles, what does that mean?
Okay, so
exactly?
singles means you're playing on the court by yourself against another person.
Okay.
So that's a singles.
Single.
So doubles is you're having a partner on the court with you and you're playing doubles. But I actually was able to play the men's 50 and over.
Now,
because I wanted to play the men.
Yes,
I was playing. I was the only woman playing with the men's 50 and over because I knew that I had something that I could bring to that table, and I knew that I could defeat these men. So yes, I took it. Yeah, and I had I had some good competition. I had some good competition, and I took it. But when I did it, and it was a lot of people there, and when I did it, they was like, "Wow, she really can play." And yes, I did. I brought it home.
Yeah.
So then I was invited to come back every year, and then I was their special guest to come back every year.
Awesome.
So that worked out really, really nice. And now I go to, I won in France, but France was a trophy. It was a big trophy, so I couldn't
bring that. Okay.
Yeah, but I did win in France in that one too. That was the first time France was having their overseas European tournament. So I actually played in their first tournament over in France.
Okay.
And then after
Viva
France,
la
I believe it was
France.
I'm not gonna go in order
You don't
because I
have to
can't
get-
remember the order.
Okay.
But this one right here is Italy. And this tournament right here was so much fun. I really enjoyed Italy. Now, mind you, I traveled the world, but I hadn't traveled the world to play handball like I had then. So Italy, this medal is nice because they really, really treated us really, really well. I mean, it wasn't a lot of Americans that went down there, but when I went down there, they really treated us really well. And when I won the medal,
is really a warm
and I'm gonna tell you a story about leading from France. When I went to France, there was the European champion girl that was there, and this girl, she beat me in France, and she made such a big stink about beating me because she was like, "Oh, I beat the #1 champion in the United States," and I said, "Sweetheart, I'm not the #1 champion. I'm coming on this tour, but I'm not the #1." Remind you now, if that says something for that, what said anything about the champion who was the champion at the time?
You just
If
gave
you're still thinking
you
right,
made her work
right,
hard,
if you're
girl.
right. So if you're thinking I'm the champion, right? So I told her, I said, but in her defeat, I mean, she
Defense.
defeated me,
Uh-huh.
and I took it like a champion with a,
Yeah,
on the chin.
TKO.
Not a problem. Went up to her, hugged her, congratulated her. They went all over Facebook saying how she beat me. I was like, okay. I said, I'm gonna humble you for a second. I said, the next time
The secret weapon.
that I see you in this tournament on the European tour, I'm going to beat you. You will never beat me again. Okay? Now, Italy.
That's a promise, y'all.
Right. So she never did beat us in doubles. She never could beat us in the doubles. So when we went to Italy, that was that. And actually, the other girl had won the gold in Italy in the singles. I took the gold in the doubles, and I took the silver in the singles. But I was actually nice and humbled because the young lady, when she won, she hugged me and she knew. Now
was a sport.
now mind you, they played singles. I didn't play singles when I came back off of that long hiatus. I didn't play singles, so I was like, okay, I'm gonna get it up. But when we went to Spain, this is Spain. This is Spain. So when we went to Spain, the same young lady made it to the finals. And she said to me in the semifinals, she said, I'm going to beat you. And I said, you think you're going to beat me? Do you not remember what I told you? In Italy. And we got into that finals game, and I beat this girl in front of a home crowd. It had to be about maybe 200 people or more. And she did not shake my hand. She did not look at me.
You hurt her feelings,
And I went to shake her hand, and she cried, and I said, it's a humbling experience for her. She didn't talk to me until the awards dinner that night. She did come up to me and say, congratulations on your win. And I was like, don't you ever do that to me again, be a bad sport like that.
Yeah.
Because never once when you had beat me the first time when I came, did I ever do that to you.
Yeah.
So it was a humbling experience for her. But I still told her after I beat her in Spain, I'm still going to beat you on the rest of the tour. Yeah.
Just to let you know.
Right. You cried at this one, but I'm going to seal the deal the rest of that year.
We're going to have to take a pause. Yo-Yo is a phenomenal lady, as you can see. We have so much more to come back with you, but we're going to take this opportunity to take a small break, but we'll be right back. Thank you for watching and continue. We'll be right back.
It's no secret. It's plain to see. I love you.
And we are back with Facing the Truth. Thank you so much for rejoining us. We're now joined by Miss Yolanda's husband, Kevin.
Yay, Kevin.
The one responsible for bringing her back to handball.
Yeah, man.
Before we get into some conversation with him, though, we're going to let Miss Yolanda finish telling us where she got the rest of these wonderful, fabulous, bling-blow gold medals from.
All right. So this one right here is actually from Holland. So this is Holland, and that's actually the hometown of the actual champion that used to be on the European tour until I became champion on the European tour. And this one is from Belgium. So this one is actually from Belgium. So when you could look at it, the whole thing is actually the whole European tour. It starts from the London, which I didn't know about the London, and I was invited from after that to the other parts of the European tour.
So introduce this wonderful
So
man.
I'm going to
that
introduce
she
my
done
wonderful
forgot all about
husband.
K-Rock, y'all.
Wait, no. So, okay, so let me introduce my wonderful husband of 24 years. We're married, but 26 together.
Bravo.
Kevin Monroe.
Kevin
Hi,
Monroe.
guys.
Welcome, Kevin.
It is
So
such a
glad to
pleasure
have you.
to be here.
Thank you so much. It's an honor that you would even come and be a part of this.
Oh, thank you
We're
so
so
much for having me.
grateful. You're a beautiful couple. Beautiful
Thank
couple.
you, thank you.
We're so honored to have you. Tell us, how did you cause this woman to be brought to such a place where all of this was accomplished, and most of all, the moment that brought her to tears? That was such an awesome thing. I mean,
was
this
such
thing
an awesome day. Oh,
for you,
man.
yeah, man. Tell us about how you convinced her, first of all.
Well, to be honest with you, when I met my wife, she was an athlete. She was the type of person that it just radiated off of her as far as skill, the intensity. Oh, man, it was like even when we just played for fun, she wanted to win all the time. So
Always competitive.
always competitive. I love that about it. You always knew where you stood. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Bring your A game or get off the court.
Nah.
So
That's the way to do it.
she just awakened what was already with me, an athlete. I'm a disciplined guy, so I would work out on the side. It was my way to get a release. With so many things going on in the world, this is something I can always come back to, is exercise, play sports. And handball was hers, and she was just like, listen, you can't play no handball. And I was like, listen, I'm an athlete. I can play anything. So that between us was just a challenge, right?
Yeah,
And I call her coach, because she would always be telling me, you need to do this. You need to get up there. You need to do that. And we would just work on it. And her workout regimen was crazy. We play in the morning. We play in the afternoon. We play in at nighttime. We would, and not just the one park. We
Night
would go
handball?
all over.
Night handball.
Yes. New
By the
York City
park
is
lights.
beautiful.
Yes.
Yankee Stadium has handball courts.
Kelly.
Kelly was our favorite park.
Oh, man.
I would go there, literally play until like 1 or 2 in the morning. Have to get up and go to work the next day and be like a zombie. It was crazy.
Kevin, let me ask you this. So did you guys ever have training or a coach, or were you each other's coach, or just with the gift and the skill to play?
It's funny that you say that, because I call her coach. At this time when I met her, she was such at a high level. She was my coach. I didn't need to go anywhere else to anybody else.
Wow.
And I've
Now,
never had any coaching.
don't get me wrong. There were a couple of people that I could talk about that were A players that would come to me and give me some pointers on some things or whatever that they felt they could help me with. But for the most part, it was Yolanda. Just yo, this is this. And when she introduced me, I was known as Yo-Yo's husband. But there was a few who wanted to know my name.
But did it make you smile?
It made me smile.
That's
it did.
beautiful.
It did.
Because I'm looking at these accomplishments, and to say that you guys, have you ever heard the term power couple?
Yes.
This is power right here.
Yes.
And nobody actually weaned or coached or but you supported each other and you built it together as husband and wife.
That's
the
power.
true essence of unity.
Yes.
You know, people say that you can't accomplish things or do things as a married couple because you get tired of each other, you get sick of it. But I can see the radiation and the exuberance coming from the two of you.
Oh, man.
The talking with you. I've talked to you guys, prior to the taping. Don't be getting none of that sucking lip on my. They sitting up here sucking lip, y'all. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to talk to these people, and they taking it to another level.
Save it till we say cut.
Okay, to wait for that button. That's so sweet, though. I love that because it lets people know and see that we are people of
First and foremost,
standard, accomplishments, love, family.
Family, yes.
So much is happening to the destruction of family right now. It's just shattering, especially in our culture. But so you guys coming forth as a powerful black married couple is such an honor, such a privilege, and to share your accolades and your achievements and your goals, and you did it by the grace of God on your own.
Amen.
And you reach heights and levels that, you know, most people go to training and they pay big money for training and coaching. And, you know, and they get to the competition, but they don't bring home the gold. They don't bring home the medals. And you guys did an awesome thing. Now, you convinced her to come back to the sport after she went on, as she put it, her hiatus.
You know, the weird thing about that is, to me, it was so obvious. We play for fun. She was just so good at it. And I was like, why don't you play, you know, competitively? You know, the girls out there, they were good, don't get me wrong, but she was just so much better in my eyes. You know, I'm a #1 fan.
Yeah,
so, you know, I have to say that.
And you should be.
But,
you should be.
But she, athletically, she glided on the floor. I make fun of her like, you know, she's tiptoeing across the floor. She just knows where you're going with the ball. She can read her opponents. And if she finds a weakness in you, she just exploits it. It's like training day for you all of a sudden. If you had a bad left hand, it's coming to your left hand, you know. If you couldn't do the lobs, well, guess what? There goes the lob. You know what I mean? And she was so encouraging to me. When I looked at her, this is my opportunity to encourage her. I said, you need to play. You need to go competitive. People need to see how good you really are. Because you're amazing in my eyes, you know. And
we share that. We share that with you. I
was so happy. She listened.
I am amazing.
See, I told you we share that. We agree.
I am amazing on the court.
Monty, she's not. She know what she's done.
Okay.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So now, I one more question. Do you have any intentions of going for the Olympics in 2020?
2020, yeah. If the sport is tabled and the sport does go,
explain what tabled means.
So tabled means you have to have a certain amount of countries for the sport to be tabled. And once it's tabled, there's an option that it can go. So if nothing else bumps it. I've been fighting for this sport to go to the Olympics for years. Of course, underneath me, it didn't happen. So there's so many organizations out there now that is fighting for the sport to go to the Olympics. To me, I think age is nothing but a number. And I've always thought that because I can hang with the youngest ones of them. And I've proven that. And, I'm hoping that it does go to the Olympics. And if it does go, you know what? I'm qualified skill-wise to compete, to go. So, yes, if it does go, I would love to be in the Olympics. That would be like the highlight right there. So I'm hoping to see the sport does go because there's a lot of talent in the sport. So, you know, it's not up to me. But, yes, if it is, then I hope to be there, yes.
Well, I just want to say before, I'm going to ask Kevin and Yolanda, because they've played as a team, to show us maybe some hand moves or to explain some of the language of the sport of handball. But I would also like to say that they also have won medals in pickleball. She didn't get into that as of yet, but this is one of her pickleball medals, and this is also another pickleball medal where she's now beginning to take pickleball by storm. And I'm going to give her a few minutes to briefly talk about that. However, I just want to know, and I just want to reiterate, re-ask the question, what was the grandest, most memorable moment for either or both of you in the history of your playing handball? What was the most memorable and grand moment?
It's an easy one for me. I mean, seeing her play in Ireland, seeing the other players, international-wise, come up to her and congratulate her on her ability, stuff that I already knew. And then to do it on such a good stage like that where it's televised, everybody's going to see your name, and they just appreciated her. And I had the opportunity, once she did win that event, win that gold medal, they said, listen, you can put the medal on your wife's neck. And I was like, oh, man, really? I'm there. And it was just beautiful. I mean, she was just, like, so glad to see me come up and give her that part. You know,
her hubby, like, y'all, her hubby.
I have to be honest with you guys. I mean, you know, God is great.
Yes, He is.
He gives us so many talents. Yes. And I know there's a lot of people who have made many accomplishments, but it's so much better when you can share it with somebody.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You better tell that, bro.
That's kind of like the special part of it. That's really the
Go ahead
what
and
makes
get it
it
out.
special. You know what I
That
mean?
I agree with
Yeah.
you, K.
My greatest accomplishment in handball for the both of us is just having him travel with me. So when we play as a team. So when we win as a team. So, you know, we bringing home the gold medals together. We're bringing home everything together. And most of all, the quality time that we have. And our son just loves when we call him and tell him the story. He's like, Mom, Dad, you won the gold medal? Mom, Dad, yeah. Oh, absolutely. I mean, everything that we do together. Everything we do together. So
Strength and unity.
That's it. That's the most amazing thing for us.
That oh my goodness, we should end on that note, but we got a little bit more for you where we want Kevin and Yo-Yo to show y'all some hand moves. You know, they hand moves a lot different from my hand moves, and I guarantee you, if you move like that, you're not gonna win. So give them a few hand moves, and one of y'all can do the hand moves, and one can say what it is and how it's work, or vice versa, do it together, because y'all the team. So work it out.
Do you want us to go in the front, or do you want us to
Well,
do
you
it from
can,
here?
you
We
know,
do it from here if you want,
because
right?
I don't
Okay,
want y'all to
want-
lose your spot, you know.
So you want to go first?
All right, let me
All right,
let me
so go
go.
ahead.
One of the easiest things that
I don't want you out of shot.
Don't get
so.
out of shot.
Oh, okay, good.
Okay.
Okay.
One of the easiest things that a player learns to do is to hit the ball with consistency to the wall. And one of the hardest things I had to learn was don't move after you hit the ball. So you hit the ball and you set your feet and you wait, because that gives the other person who's playing against you an opportunity to go get the shot. But if you're moving, it's a hindrance to them. So
Now, is that a team or single?
this is
Either
both.
or.
Both.
Okay.
Because your opponent cannot be moving when you hit the ball. They have to wait too, otherwise your opponent is blocking the other person from getting the ball. So you don't want to do that either. So the easiest thing is to hit the ball and stop, and that way everybody's able to read and adjust to the ball. So my wife's very good at hitting the ball and just standing there and hits the ball around her, which I think is amazing. For me, I was always nervous whether that was going to hit me, and then you lose the point or you lose the volley.
Okay. And my most famous shot is actually, like I said, the flat line shot. So the flat line shot for me comes like this. I actually have an open hand flat line shot. I'll come back, and if you see me cock like this and I'm coming forward like this, my hand is actually cuffed, and the shot just lays straight out. It just flattens out. You
Now,
can't even get to it.
Have you ever taught anyone else?
Yes, I can teach them how to do a shot, but I won't. The flat line is something that I naturally developed over an amount of 40 years.
So you cannannot teach, or you will not?
I can teach them to
The flat
do
line.
the shot, but they have to have it has to be a natural ability for them to develop that shot.
Okay.
I can show them how to hit the shot, but everybody has their own development.
Right.
techniques.
Gotcha.
So how I can hit it will make it look like it's just laid straight out. Somebody else could hit it and it could come up.
Okay,
But for
gotcha.
me, I mastered
So like
that
in a
shot.
choke.
Yeah,
in a
I
choke.
mastered that shot. So I know exactly how to hit it and when to hit it.
And where to hit
And
it
where
too.
to hit it too.
Okay, so what is your move for a killer?
Oh, for a
Killer
kill
ball.
shot.
I remember killer
You
ball.
want to show that movement
Everybody
for
knows
a
killer.
kill shot would be.
She
This is
watch
always my
this. This
position.
girl and
my
this.
eye is on the ball, and this is always my position. So when I get ready to kill, I know my eye is on that ball, and my arm is just coming straight out.
And it's a killer.
It's a kill. I'm gonna put it away.
I love it. Thank you guys. That was phenomenal.
Thank you guys.
That was phenomenal. So I have another question for you, and we're getting ready to kind of wind down a little bit, but do you guys do any workshops or trainings for young people that might want to do the world competitions and in other sports other than handball, because you said you're diverse in sports? So I mean, is there workshops, and I know I want you to also tell them if you have a Facebook page or ways that they can get in touch with you in regards of their interest in sports, or even if they want to follow up with you in regards to learning, continual learning. I know that we have an event that's coming up in November. We're not going to get into specifics of that, but we will be able to post some of that stuff on Facebook where people that are following us or that would like information concerning it can hit us up on Facebook. But do the workshop thing and how they can get in touch with you and stay connected with you and link up with you and Mr. K-Rock. I nicknamed him K-Rock, y'all. It's my new brother, K-Rock. He ain't just Kevin, he's K-Rock for Lady BJ.
Well, yeah. Yeah, well, we offer. I mean, we can offer workshops. I mean, you know, right now, I'm not at the facility the way I was at. You know, long story short, but it's a lot of, you know, those are adversities that you face.
Yeah.
So with me coming out of that, but I do have opportunities that are coming to me to teach workshops, and I will teach them. Like I said, all I need is a wall.
Yeah.
So a wall, a ball, a student, I'm gonna put it there because I've had workshops where I work with the little girls and kids and the guys, and I'll teach them the basics of handball. But yes, the workshops are coming along, and we're in the process of doing things.
And where can they reach you?
They can reach me on Facebook under Yolanda Yo-Yo Monroe. They can reach me through my email, which is bblacksheba@aol.com.
Okay, you need to slow that down, baby, because they might want to write it down.
All right, I'm
they
sorry.
Might want to write it down.
They can reach me at my email at bblacksheba@aol.com.
AOL.com.
Yes.
And
they can reach me also my cell phone number, you know, if they want to.
Well, I'll give the Facebook. If they want that, then you can come to give that to them.
Yeah, and the
on
Facebook is under Yolanda
email.
Monroe, and you'll see me actually on there with an athletic page with showing me and Kevin playing pickleball, because that's the new sport that we're transitioning into. So
that's what I was getting ready to say, because when we were conversating earlier, you said basically older people do pickleball.
Yes.
Now, is that something that you think young people would also be interested in?
Young people are getting into that sport, and yes,
Definitely.
it is actually a sport that young people are going to get into, and I love this sport. Let me tell you, when we took this sport up about 4 months ago, and one of the guys in Nebraska that actually played with the center, his name is Ron, and he actually discovered us trying to learn the game. So we actually went there to actually see, you know, what the skills was behind the game. So we developed the game as we came along. So Bluffs Pickleball and Pickleball Omaha are actually responsible for us developing such a great game so fast, because we play with them every day, literally every day.
Well, let me ask you this now. Explain, because I know when you first mentioned it to me, I didn't have a clue what pickleball was. Nobody know what pickleball. So we got to start winding up real quick. So I want you to quickly tell them what pickleball is.
Pickleball, I call it big ping pong. You want a tennis court, but that is miniaturized. So you have a net that you have to shoot across.
Is the net lifted or on the ground?
It's lower, so it's 34 inches in the middle, in the center, and 36 on each end.
Okay.
Okay. Now, you do play with a paddle, but the ball is a wiffle ball with holes in it.
Okay.
Okay. If you play outdoors, the holes are smaller. If you play indoors, the holes are a little bit bigger.
Okay.
But it's so much
Play
fun.
like ping pong on a big floor court.
If you like ping pong, you'll love
ping
If you play racquetball, you'll love it. If you play tennis, you'll love it.
Yeah.
It's one of those sports that a lot of people can play and enjoy it. The ball does slow down a little bit, so it gives you a chance to play with the younger players a little bit longer. And even if you have so much strength, you have to be controlled. So that's how the older players stay in the game.
That's me.
You have to have control.
I have control.
Now, we didn't get into the rules and the regulations and the fouls and all of that stuff with the handball or the pickleball, but we will be keeping you guys posted, and we'll be keeping Yo-Yo in front of you. This will not be the last time you see her on Facing the Truth. You trust me.
Yeah.
You don't have to, send me a whole bunch of stuff saying, when is Yo-Yo coming back? Her and K-Rock will be back. Will y'all be back?
Yes, we will.
Okay,
Yes, we will. God willing,
and we will
be back.
do some more stuff about handball, and they will be introducing some more stuff about pickleball, and you'll get to know what the rules and the regulations and stuff are. These are a phenomenal pair of people, and I call them my new power couple. I'm so grateful. I'm Lady BJ.
I'm Mr. Jackson.
And we are Facing the Truth, and we are here with our special guest, Yo-Yo, and her husband, Kevin. I'll call him Kevin so y'all know who he really is. But we thank you so much for being with
everybody.
us. And stay strong, stay true to yourself, and remember, always face the truth.
It's no secret